Hi guys, my name is Felicia and I'm so glad you're here with me to learn a little bit about sugar-free and what it can do for you. In this first video, I'm going to keep it really basic about just how to get started and what I mean by sugar-free. Now, when I did sugar-free, I know I felt really overwhelmed. And I've been on a health journey and ate pretty well for a really long time. So if this is going to be a massive change in your life, or even if it's like kind of a minor one, I want you to know it's going to be totally normal that your brain is going to go to, oh my gosh, I can't do this because now I can't have this, and I can't have this, and I can't have this, and I can't have this. I did that. And honestly, when I took a step back and looked at it, a lot of those things I was freaking out about, I hadn't eaten in over a year or more. It was just all of a sudden the hardcore can't, freaks your mind out. So I want you to take a deep breath if that starts to happen and really take a look at, am I cutting out something that I usually have? Is it really that big of a deal? Can I really just not have it for a limited amount of time? And maybe it will be a treat at some point. The other thing I want to let you know is if you've already been on a health and fitness journey and this is just your next step, then you're probably not going to be making that many changes. You're probably already eliminated a lot of the stuff that we're going to be looking at and talking about, and it'll just be like what you grab at the grocery store and put in your cart changes a little because this product has sugar but this one doesn't. It may be that simple. Now, one of the things I really need to do before we get too far into this is define what I mean by sugar-free, because there are a lot of different definitions and what people understand it as. The most common one I hear when somebody tells me that they're sugar-free is that they don't eat refined sugar. Well, that's sort of sugar-free, but you're still putting a lot of things in your body that have sugar in it in different forms that still affects you basically the same way. And I know that freaks a lot of people out, but when I talk about sugar-free, I mean no added sweeteners at all. That includes honey, agave, stevia, coconut sugar, any of those, we're not adding it. And the reason that is because it does reset a chemical reaction in your body that causes inflammation, causes people who have diabetes A1C to go up. All of these things, like any kind of added sweetener, does do that. Now they do different things on different levels. Like coconut sugar doesn't spike your blood sugar. So if really you're just kind of looking at this because you're dealing with diabetes, just switching to coconut sugar and a lot of things may be enough. But you have to remember, it is still a sugar and it is still something you would really want to keep as limited as possible in your diet. If not, try and eliminate it altogether. Now, I know when I say sugar-free and I'm talking about eliminating all these things, people get really freaked out. And they're like, oh my gosh, then what am I going to eat? Because now all their brain is thinking about is what they can't eat. You can eat pretty much almost anything that you've made from scratch at home because you're not going to have sugar to it. If you go to your cupboard right now and looked at a thing of even Healthy Choice soup, they added sugar, even if it's a spicy soup. Why? So what you're going to be eating are fruits, and we'll go over later which ones to focus on and which ones to try and minimize. Like berries are good. Don't ever have more than half a banana if you can help it. Veggies, pretty much any veggie, but you're going to want to try and limit the starchy ones. So potatoes, especially fried. A fried reaction is almost as bad as a fried chemical reaction in your body is basically the same as eating sugar. So sweet potato fries, not that much better for you, but sweet potatoes are awesome. Meat, pretty much any meat is good to go. And whole grains, of course. Then again, in another video, I'll go over which grains I really recommend and why I focus on the ones that I do and really incorporate them in our body. And as far as dairy, the thing you have to remember with any, especially full fat cheese or milk, is there's still a lot of sugar in that as well. And dairy happens to be one of the most inflammatory things that we consume. So if you're worried about inflammation, if you have an autoimmune disease, these are things you're looking at, you might want to consider trying to cut out dairy altogether. Now, dairy and eggs is kind of this fine line, and I am going to definitely be eating eggs. They're a great source of protein, especially if you get free range or and grass-fed organic ones. It does make a difference. It's worth the money for what you're putting in your body, but make the changes you can make. If that's an expense that you can't take on right now or any of it, do what you can do. That is the key. So the next key to any diet is meal prep, because you're going to get hungry. You are going to run late. You are going to had a crazy day and not had the salad that you had in your lunchbox or whatever, and you're going to want to come home and grab something. So if you don't buy the bad things, which if you have a family and you're doing this on your own, I am here. If you're having a weak moment, just message me and I will do what I can to talk you through your options. But just have food available to grab. Some of the things that I always meal prep are a couple of different grains so that I can always just grab some, and if I might add something to it. I may just eat it as it is. The way I make barley is really, really good, and you don't have to add anything to it. If you have your veggies prepped, so you can either have baby carrots, or if you just chop up carrots and celery and can have those to grab, maybe with a little bit of hummus or peanut butter, depending on what else you've eaten that day. Having those things will be the key to not going down the rabbit hole of cheating on your diet and resetting with all the work you've been doing. So most of the grabbable foods that we are so used to in our culture are full of really bad stuff. Even the healthy, organic, gluten-free ones, if you look at them, they're still full of some kind of thing that says OS, which is some kind of sugar, and probably a bunch of other chemicals that you really don't want in your body. Like, we don't even usually buy those packs of seasonings for stuff, because if you look at them, they have a bunch of chemicals in it, when basically you just need what's already in your cupboard. Especially as you figure out what your body likes and what your family likes, you can have your go-to set of spices and just kind of go off that. So my last tip before we get started, and I'll be sending out meal plans and recipes with people that have requested it to be in the group that I'm launching right now. And if you're watching this and you're not in the group, I'll be launching another one soon. Just message me and I can get you in that. But is I like to shop and meal prep on different days. It's too much to do all in one thing for me. So I like to do all the shopping, make my meal plan for the week, look at all the recipes, make sure that I have everything that I need. I like to stack them, and I'll teach you about that, so that if I meal prep something, I might use it in multiple recipes throughout the week. And then I cook the next day, because it's just, you don't want to be overwhelmed. You want to feel like you can fit this into pockets of time in your schedule. So thank you again for joining me. I'm so excited to be a part of this journey with you. I'm always just a message away, and I look forward to hearing how things go. Stay tuned for my next video.